What's up, guys? It's Lord Both here for another video, and you can always count on game developers and publishers when they have a really hot product on their hand to find some way to try to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory. Because there used to be a phrase in show business that people lived by, which was, leave them wanting more. Oh, people like that? Oh, well, don't give them too much of it. Leave them wanting more and they'll come back for more later, keeping the interest in something alive. But now it seems to be the new mantra of show business in general, whether that's movies, TV, and yes, even video games, is, oh, people like that? Spam that shit until people hate it.
I got a fever, and the only prescription is more cowbell.
Because that is what annual releases is doing for the video game industry. And why do I bring this up? Well, because EA wants to make Battlefield an annual release.
No! God, please, no! No! No!
This comes to us from Insider Gaming, and it's entitled, Battlefield is aiming to become an annual release within 5 to 6 years. In a new video, industry analyst Michael Patcher claims that general manager of Battlefield franchise Byron Beatty, I don't know how you really pronounce it, has told him that EA wants Battlefield to be an annual title. According to Patcher, he has spoken to Beatty, who said that EA's goal is to have 3 studios working on the Battlefield franchise on a 3-year cycle so that they can release annually.
Not 1 championships.
Not 2.
LeBron, tell us about that.
Not 2, not 3.
That's absolutely wild to me, man. 3 different studios working on 3 different Battlefield games, almost probably at the same time, so they can have them ready to go, one after the motherfucking other. Unsurprisingly, this is identical to Call of Duty's annual release model, but Patcher claims that the franchise is still 5 to 6 years away from back-to-back annual releases. Couple things there. First, why would you want to copy anything that Call of Duty is doing?
Don't make no sense is all.
I thought the whole point of why people were very much into your game, Battlefield 6, and what they've seen from the demo, what they've played from the demo, and now what they've seen from Call of Duty in Gamescom, was that it is not Call of Duty. And to be honest, because of Call of Duty releasing their actual reveal trailer after this information came out, it's still probably going to make people want to go out and buy Battlefield 6 and play Battlefield 6 other than Call of Duty, because that trailer was absolutely terrible. It's getting massively ratioed.
It was bad. It had nothing, no fire, no energy, no nothing.
I have a completely different video on this channel about it, but even still, I mean, this is the wrong direction to take. Secondly, 5 to 6 years away from back-to-back annual releases, that tells me with how long it's actually taken to produce Battlefield games in the past, we're looking at this game and maybe one more before you have those annual release Battlefields. And let's be honest, what you're gonna get from an annual release Battlefield is the same thing you're gonna get with an annual release Call of Duty. Slop content that uses a lot of reused assets. Because that's what happens when you have annual releases and you put a massive crunch on teams. Even when you have 3 different studios working on 3 different games simultaneously, it's still a hardcore crunch. And they're still going to reuse assets and put out sloppy content. And the problem is, even with as much hype as Battlefield 6 has, and even if it releases to great success, and people love the game and play it a lot and it beats Call of Duty out this year, there is no guarantee that people will come back year after year for it other than Call of Duty.
So you get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
Especially if Call of Duty starts ringing the alarm bells at this and decides to actually start making good games again. Even Tom Henderson, the writer of this article, states, I believe that an annual Battlefield release could significantly harm the franchise and its quality. Now, there's still some questions around this annual release and what exactly that would look like for Battlefield specifically, beyond the whole 3-studio carousel, and details are far from being released yet. That said, it's completely unsurprising that this would be the direction that EA would go, because they're ran by Andrew Wilson, and Andrew Wilson only cares about cash. I don't know a CEO that is more brazenly open about the fact that he only cares about revenue than Andrew Wilson, and using whatever kind of multiplayer farm game that he can to make cash off of people.
Money, please.
Oh, no, there's no money.
Money, please.
And that is all that he cares about. So the fact that they are thinking about going to an annual release model to create a farm of people buying these games over and over year after year, when EA is pretty much the king of doing this with all their sports games, is absolutely no surprise whatsoever. If you go down this road, you're going to get watered down content. You are going to get reused assets. You are going to get flooded with more and more cheaters, which this game sounds like it already has a problem with, despite the fact that they use very advanced anti-cheating programs. Way better than whatever they were trying to do at Call of Duty, I can tell you that. But like I said at the beginning of this video, leave them wanting more was always a proven strategy to get people to be invested in something and actually buy it, to give a company money for a good product. And while I understand the fact that we live in a modern age where people's attention spans are a lot smaller with the TikTok generation, but what they also forget that this is the long form podcast generation. Executives in these companies seem to only be thinking that people are just bouncing from one thing to another, when yes, they are doing that, or they are extremely invested in one thing for a very long time. Basically, attention spans have become like classes. Like there is the very wealthy and the very poor, and the middle class is disappearing. There is the zero attention span and the extremely long attention span, and not a whole lot in the middle anymore.
Metaphor.
However, those long attention span gamers, I think, are underserved as gaming companies continue to try to make games for short attention spans, which only increases their workload, when they should be decreasing their workload and putting out something that actually has meaning and depth that people actually care about and can get invested in. Because when you go into this model, yes, you serve the short attention span people, but they're only going to be around for a little while. That's the nature of them. And then they're on to the next thing. And eventually, if you keep on in this model and the quality of what you're producing continues to lower, eventually even they will start to notice and stop caring and stop buying. That is what's happening to Call of Duty. And if you want to choose that model and end up where Call of Duty is, which is noticeably on the decline and about to potentially lose out to their massive competitor for the first time ever this year, well then, go right ahead. But it doesn't seem like a good long-term strategy to me. But hey, those are just my thoughts on all this. If you have your own thoughts, go leave in the comments. If you liked this video, go and like, share, and subscribe. If you didn't like this video, appreciate you watching all of it, and we'll talk to you again later.